So, Patrick, what did you think of this movie?
I think it kind of sucks. I think there are moments, like I mentioned, there are moments of fun, but you're selling me on Killer Cat. Mm-hmm. And not only Killer Cat, you're selling me on a mutant cat that lives inside another cat. Mm-hmm. This movie should not be nearly as boring as it is.
No, absolutely.
It has relatively good gore. Surprisingly good gore, like makeup effects wise. Like that was more than I was expecting. Like I felt satisfied in that way. But one of the biggest problems is that it's difficult to tell most of the characters apart. The two bimbos are more or less without character. Two of the three young men that accompany them are basically the same. And it's bad. Like when I first, I guess I've seen this movie 3 times now because I saw it twice today. But when I first saw it, I looked at my Letterboxd review of it, and I only gave it 1.5 stars out of 5. But this was also back when the rating was based on quality and not necessarily how much I enjoyed it, so I could still enjoy a movie if I gave it even like a 1/2 star, and it all mattered if I clicked the little heart. And I had clicked the heart. And folks, I moved the 1.5 star up a little bit, but I unclicked that heart. This movie sucks. It's so dull.
Yeah.
It's so dull.
Do you think that's because the plot doesn't make sense for the most part?
No, it's because the movie sucks. Who cares? I mean, it's boring. Like you don't even need to make the cat inside another cat to you don't have to make that make sense to have a fun Killer Cat on the Loose horror movie. But they also didn't explain that, and they didn't make a fun Killer Cat on the Loose horror movie. They didn't explain that, and they made a boring ass Killer Cat movie. And again, you said you can't take any of it seriously, and I agree with you. But the film tries to take it seriously, and it's just like pathetic. When we have a lot of scenes in that like second act, like after they know, or like late second act, at the point when they're holding Walter hostage, and at the point when that one guy's already been shot and George Kennedy's dead, when there are like numerous scenes of like, oh, that cat could be anywhere, and they have to like check the closet, and then it's not a cat, it's like a fake out. But like they're trying to make these scenes tense, and it's just so pathetic.
Yeah, and I think like the only character that was an interesting character is Rachel, the captain of the ship. And she's the only...
Even that's being generous. And she's the most interesting.
Well, even like she's got like a bit of a backstory, like how she wound up there. Like it was like her dad had worked with or for Walter at some point, and he had squandered money or died or something, and she
also refuses to fuck Walter for money. Basically, that's implied.
Yeah, and Walter's gonna leave her the yacht when he gets to the Cayman Islands, and she's like, "I don't want your fucking." Well,
that's only true once they're trying to get her to not report Clu Gulager going overboard. I don't think he has intention of doing that.
Oh, to begin with. Okay, that makes sense.
Because that was because she's like, I have to report that Clu Gulager fell overboard, because they don't even know that he was killed by the cat. They just think, he fell overboard.
Yeah,
and then they're eventually like, but he can't. Like, we're going to waste all this time. They're never going to find a body because Clu Gulager can't swim.
Yeah, Rachel's like,
but she's still going to report it, and then they're like, hey, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I'm going to give... But then he doesn't even say he's going to give her the yacht. He's like, I'm going to give you the yacht at a price that I think you'll be... Like, he's still... It's a terrible bribe.
Oh, yeah,
because he's still making her pay.
You know what movie this reminded me of as I was watching it? Just because, like, it jumped so much, and one scene just flat out didn't lead into another for the most part. It reminded me of Gone with the Pope.
That's blasphemy.
But Gone with the Pope
Not just because the Pope's involved.
No, but Gone with the Pope was interesting.
Gone with the Pope is literal blasphemy. but it's an amazing film in comparison.
But I think Gone with the Pope, though, was bizarre enough. And
also heavy on a lot of yacht usage in that film.
Yes, a lot of yacht usage. But also usage of, like, obese hookers and midgets. And that was interesting.
Midgets?
Yeah, wasn't there a midget in that movie?
No.
Oh. Are you sure? Was there a little
Damn
person
near
in that
positive. No, there's a black woman that they humiliate. and then there's the 700-pound white woman that they also humiliate.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Okay. But remember how Gone with the Pope, they would just have like a scene of like people sitting around a table, and then it would smash cut to them just like doing something completely different, and then you didn't know they were kidnapping the Pope until like halfway through the movie. You know, it's like stuff like that. That's what this movie reminded me of.
So you are comparing this film, I almost said theatrically released. This wasn't theatrically released, obviously. This was a direct-to-video schlock. But you're comparing this film from 1988 to a film made by a psychopath that was not released in his lifetime, that was lost in a dumpster for 40 years.
Yeah, mainly because this should have been lost in a dumpster and never found.
Yeah. This movie's just so lame.
It is, and I thought I would have good things to say about it, but I don't.
I thought I would too. I remember enjoying this movie.
I think really like the best part is when
George Kennedy.
Yeah, is when he gets attacked.
That's the best bit of gore. The George Kennedy, not only when he gets bit by, when we see it in close-up, it's like the size of a lion. When he gets bit by the hand puppet, but even when he's like dying and he has that, it looks like they're going to go full chest burster and they stop short of that. He just like dies when stuff is kind of like poking out from him. But yeah, like all the gore effects were good, but also that scene was just fun, and the way it's fun to see the venerable George Kennedy just getting attacked by a puppet. Like,
on his ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I really have to say about this movie, is that it was boring, it was a bit of a slog, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
I'm with you.